things, like last time things went awful for Johnny, this time it went terrible. He even got humiliated in court. I mean, it was really bad from the start. And just to start things off, I'm gonna run through the whole trial so you guys kind of get a picture of how things were, even though you guys weren't there. So there was a few people there. There wasn't that many people this time. But Johnny at 3:59, Johnny's lawyer came in. So right on time for the trial and so on. Then at 4, a woman walked in who apparently was a witness. We didn't know of her. We hadn't seen her. We were assuming that Bong Bong was going to testify today, but apparently not. Then at 4:03, Hank walked in, and that also confirmed that Hank is still associated with Johnny. Then at 4:05, so this is 5 minutes after his trial started, Johnny was still not there. So Hank, he starts panicking and talking to the lawyer, and they don't know where Johnny is. So then Hank has to run out of the courtroom and I guess call Johnny and figure out where this guy is. So moving on with my notes here, let's see, 1 second. Then we have at 4:07, Johnny then walks in, this time respectfully, in a fitting suit. It seems like Johnny realized how bad things were and finally took the cue and he was like, okay, I'm gonna lock in because clearly things are not going well for him. So then everyone sits down, or everyone stands up, judge walks in, everyone sits down, okay, court starts. So then at 4:12, Johnny then confirms that he is still a quote-unquote student and that he still actually lives at Hank's house. So that's interesting because Hank is going on to say, oh, Johnny does not live with me, I do not help Johnny anymore, I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently that's not true. So then we have the 8 charges that he's currently facing. Right. I have Gabe with me here who's been helping me translate and also find all the location and everything, you know, and so on. So shout out to this man for being here. But essentially, so there's the first charges they talked about were it was the business obstruction charges. And yes, they were related to the buses,
yes, correct? This is the new charge that they announced today. So this is the one that we didn't know for sure, but I predicted was going to be the bus incident on the 27th.
So that was was it 7011 bus or was it 7013A?
It was 7011 and 7013A.
Okay, and then you had another bus 20. Oh, so it was a 2024 incident. That's why it was bus 2024. Okay,
yes,
so that's
yes.
Okay.
This is something that happened in 2024.
Okay.
So that's why, that's also why they're adding it to this case, among many reasons, is because it was all around the same time. So they consider this a crime spree.
Okay. And so the first 2 disturbances, so the first bus, that was for playing NK propaganda on the bus. And then the second one was for just text-to-speech donations and just, disturbing the peace on the bus. So
loud refusing to turn it down.
Yes.
Causing a disturbance, and also the live streaming, that in itself they consider to be a disturbance that, making other people feel uncomfortable if you have your camera. Like right now we're here, we're not putting people in the frame, right? Mm-hmm. If you're on a bus, you're live streaming other people as well. Yeah. So that's considered a disturbance as well.
So then at 4:15, you had that moment where they went, oh, if you change the time, we plead guilty here. And that didn't fully make sense to me. So, what was that about? Because that was what Johnny's team said.
It's very common for an accusation to have some small mistake, like it could be a date or a time or a location. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
If you say no, it wasn't this day, it was that day, it's still a crime. It doesn't matter. But Johnny nitpicks about stuff like this, and the lawyer brought that up as an argument. And so the compromise was, do you admit to everything except the date that this happened? Yes, he admits to everything except for the date. Okay, that's a guilty plea.
Okay, so yeah, then he pled guilty for all the obstruction charges. So all 4 obstruction of business charges, he pled guilty for.
Right.
Then, so because of that plea, then the witness got up and left because they no longer needed her to testify against him, because we were assuming that the witness was one of the workers at Lotte World who witnessed him, disrupt and stop the ride and do all the stuff he did there.
Yeah, when she turned around, I recognized her from the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 100%. I recognized her from the video.
Okay. So then you had the whole deepfake charges. So the lawyer then said that Johnny was intoxicated. So they used him being intoxicated as an excuse for why he distributed those.
Their number one argument is that, and this was his lawyer finally making an argument, which they've been asking him to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what you're supposed to do in court.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying, oh, I gave you the evidence, or oh, I'll tell you later. But finally they got him to make an argument, and his number one argument was he did not produce the deepfakes, even though I think he probably did. Right? He did not produce the deepfakes, all he did was to distribute them. So you admit to distributing them.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so that's essentially what happened. Yeah.
But he is insisting on a not guilty plea. So it looks like his lawyer or somebody was able to convince him that the Lotte World charge was a lost cause. And so they, so that's what Johnny gave.
Interesting.
Guilty plea, changing the plea from not guilty to guilty for Lotte World.
Yeah.
But insisting on not guilty for the deep fakes.
Okay. And then that's when a new dialogue started, because that's when the prosecution wanted to bring in witnesses for the deepfakes, and Johnny's lawyer did not want witnesses involved at all.
Right.
So then, what happened after they didn't want witnesses? What did the judge say, and how was the reaction of the court then?
This was interesting. He, since he got overruled when he tried to block the witnesses.
Yeah.
They do not want Bong Bong to testify. They don't want Yongman. They don't want either of them to testify. That's
okay.
Clear. We know.
Yeah.
We know. We've known that for a long time. But yes, he was actively in court trying to block them, and he was overruled on that.
Okay.
So, but since they're having the witnesses, the lawyer requested more time than usual.
Okay.
To examine them.
So
why?
What's a normal time to examine someone, you think?
It depends on the case, and then all that they'll set it. And for this, they set 15 minutes for the defense for the lawyer to interview the witnesses. They set 15 minutes, and since he couldn't block it, he wanted more time with the witnesses, which means if they can't block the witnesses, they really want to grill them. So he might be planning on going all in on Bong Bong.
Oh, wow. Okay, so is it Johnny's lawyer that's grilling Bong Bong, or the prosecution that's grilling Bong Bong?
It'll be first the prosecution for 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
the next is Johnny's lawyer for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then the judge might ask some questions as well.
And then you have another witness as well. So
Right.
it'll be times two, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Interesting.
then another times two, because they're going to do a translation for everything.
Oh,
So
wow.
that making
Okay.
it twice as long. Yeah.
Okay. And that's happening in October. And then other than that, so then you had what were the minor crimes charges? Were they ever brought up during this case or trial?
That is settled that the plea is guilty.
Okay.
So, minor crimes, and now we can say obstruction of business. The plea is guilty for 6 charges.
Okay. Interesting. And so overall, how was Johnny's lawyer?
Flustered, definitely out of his depth. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I know he was pressured by Hank's family to be a part of this case, and I think he's trying to do his best to balance between Johnny and normalcy.
Yeah.
Sane, actual normal procedure.
Yeah. And how is the prosecution handling this case, you feel like?
I mean, obviously very professional.
Okay.
Right.
So would you consider them to be pretty aggressive on this case, or how would you rate it?
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive on it. The paradox is, how can you simultaneously admit to having distributed, which is the crime that it's accused of, and insist on this not guilty plea?
Yeah.
That's insane. It's thinking, the more I think about it, the crazier it is. But
Yeah.
that's what we just witnessed.
Wow.
Is this lawyer using Johnny's argument?
Yeah.
Saying basically,
Interesting.
I didn't make it, so I'm not guilty. Even though, again, I think he did.
And also, the whole charge is for the distribution. So they're like, oh, we didn't make it. I did distribute it, though. But I was drunk. That's essentially what we're seeing unfold.
Yes, that's the mental gymnastics that we saw happen today. Lawyer was very flustered, turning red, stuttering. I don't think he has a natural stutter like Hank, but he does have a strange way of talking.
Yeah.
But he definitely seemed very uncomfortable.
Interesting. Did the judge give any reaction to this, or was he confused, or how was the judge reacting to this?
The judge, as usual, is very, sort of above everything, above the fray, and was very calm and very patient with the process. But he's also the one who said, no, you cannot block these witnesses, and no, you cannot extend your interview time with them.
Right.
Cross-examination.
Wow. Do you have any other overall thoughts on this trial?
That was crazy. That was just insane.
And
there's all this stuff. There's so much stuff that's just unprecedented. It's stuff you just don't do.
Okay, yeah. So this is just an absolutely not a normal
This
trial.
is like it's almost like Monty Python.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
so it is just a full-on clown fest.
It's a clown fest.
Okay.
It is absolutely a clown fest.
If you were going to give a prediction of like how the prosecution was and like from previous cases you've seen in Korea, what do you think the most likely sentence that he will get from all this is?
At this point, I think the prosecutor is going to say something like 4 or 5 years. Maybe
Wow. Okay.
Because of Johnny's insistence.
Yeah.
And because of his insincerity with his guilty pleas.
Yeah. And now, I mean, finally he's locked in, but it also seems like it's kind of too late to start acting like he's actually sorry. Because he didn't actually act like he was sorry today. He was just being respectful. He was being a normal person today from what I saw. And that's really it. Yeah, the bar is really set low. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all for now. I'll be making a full video soon. What would you say?
Hank was fine. Johnny's behavior was fine.
Yeah.
Lawyer, just feel bad for that guy.
Well, that's it. Thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you guys when I make a full long-form video on this. I'll see you next one. Peace, guys.